Hi, my name is Sam Dhaneshekaran and welcome to this database tutorials. In this video, we will discuss about some of the basic operations that we can do with a table. In most of the cases, or I would say in 100% of the cases, the first operation that we would do with a table is to create the table. So we probably would use a command to create the table. I'll explain what command is it and everything in the subsequent videos. Right now I'm just keeping it very simple because this is just the fourth video. Let me explain about the basic operations, and then we will try to go a little bit deeper into it in the subsequent videos. So when we create a table, we would give the column names of a table, and then we also need to specify the type of data that each column can hold. For example, in the previous video, we've seen that this name column could be a text column, meaning that it will hold text data, right, in the subsequent rows. And this birth date column would be a date type column, which would hold dates. So like that, like for example, the consumption would be a number, right? So when I say number, when I say text, don't look for a type called text. Right now, I'm just keeping things very simple. So what do? We create a table. So that's an operation. So what is another operation that we can do with regard to a table is to drop the table. That means remove the table entirely. Remember, we use the word drop, not delete, right? I'll explain why we are not using the word delete. Instead, we are using the word drop to remove the table entirely, like I mentioned, and I'll explain that in the subsequent videos. So right now, just remember, when you want to create a table, you create a table. And then when you want to remove the table altogether, we drop it. And then the other type of operations that we can do is to change the structure of the table. If you notice in the previous slide, I have 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a name column, type column, birth date, consumption, and average amount of milk. But if you notice here, I've added one more column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what did you do? By adding the column, I've changed the structure of the table. Like that, now if I want, I can drop a column, or I can change the type of a column from date to something else, right? So there are different sets of commands which would change the structure of the table, and there are some commands which would change the structure of not only table, any object, in which table is also an object. I'll talk about the other objects later. So the commands that we use to change the structure of a table or structure of any object are called DDLs. So what's a DDL? Data definition language. So using these commands, we define the objects, we create the object, or we change the structure of the object. So these commands are called data definition language. And in the subsequent video, I'll talk about DML, which is data manipulation language. And in that video, you would see why we were using drop table instead of delete table. Okay, but right now, the thing that you need to remember is there are commands that would create an object, or that would drop an object, or that would change the structure of an object. Those are called data definition language. Thanks for watching this video.